So in this session, we are going to see that how to debug the flow choice-based routing, and we'll see that how the components debug mode, how the components are going on. So once we see that choice-based routing debug mode, then we will see that how to handle exceptions and what are the different kind of exceptions Mule can handle. Okay. Let's get deployed. Now let me open my Postman. Or else you can do it from browser also. That is also fine. HTTP and then localhost 8081 API/console. So we'll select something United, and then so this is the query parameter which we are passing, and then trying to get the data. Now you can see that it's stuck here, right? And jump into the Mule debugger mode. So this is the variable. So right now there is no variable. I think we said the airline variable name is airline. So once this message processor has executed, then you can see that how this variable will get created. Okay, now just click on the next message processor, and you can see that a variable got created with value United. Okay, so this value has captured from the query parameter. So if you see that we are capturing the value from the query parameter. So inbound properties dot http query params dot airline. So whatever the value which you are passing as a query parameter, we are capturing into the flow variable. And then what we are doing that, so we are comparing that whether that flow variable value is equal to the United, then call the United flow. If that flow variable value is matches with the delta, then call the delta flow. So like that American also we are preparing. If it is not matching with any of these three, then default we set to call all airlines flights flow. So it will go and call all the process flows and get the data and combine it and give it to the single response as a user. Now go to the Mule debugger mode and then again click. Okay, so since we passed it as United, so the condition match with the United, and then it is invoking the United flights flow. Okay, something wrong on the exception. Okay, I think I did some change in this. Once again. Let's try one more time. Click on the get. It's still redeploying your application. Click on save all. Since it is not saved properly. Go to your browser and try it one more time. Select United and then now you are here. Let's get your cursor got paused. Then just try to click on the next message processor. Okay. Okay. Now you can see that the response and after the mapping how the records are there. So there are these are record by record and it is a java.util.array list. Since we already did the transformation converting the whatever the response coming, whatever the format it is, we had converted that into the Java object java.array list, so that we could able to see that java.array list response and which has a different set of a bunch of records here, right? Now you click on the next processor, then your flow will complete. Now you go back to your browser, you can see the response. So this is the response you can see from the United flow. Okay, so this is the debugger mode, like where you can debug the other flows as well, like American and Delta also. Okay, if you're not passing any query parameter, let's see how it will work. So don't pass anything, just leave it as empty, then click on get. Now you can see that here. Click on next. Now you can see that variable, there is no variable get created, even it is executed, because we are not passing any query parameter and we could not able to store anything in the flow variable. Now if you see that it will execute parallelly, one by one message processor in one flow, and parallelly another flow also will execute. All three flows will execute parallel. Okay, so that it will not take much time. If it is executing as a synchronous way, like one flow completes all the message processors, then return back the cursor and again second flow execute and completing all the message processor, then it will take a lot of time, it will consume the higher time. But here the design was it was like that. In build it will execute all the flows parallelly. You see that so we got the response from all the airlines, three different kind of airline. Now you can see that what the payload is. So if you see that three different payload 0, 1, 2, okay, and one is for what is this? This is American Airlines. You can see that airline name, and this is for the Delta airline. You can see the airline name, and here it is a United. So we got the response like this. Now by using the transformation, what we are doing, we are just combining, and then it is already combined and you got a gun, but we are just making it a proper way. So to do that we use this flatten payload, okay, and also we are doing a sorting. To do the sorting you can perform order by price. Not only price, you can keep it airline name or any other, okay, based on the field name you can give it anything, you can sort it. Okay, so now you got all the response from the different kind of airlines. So now you could able to see that multiple records from different kind of airlines. Okay, so if you see that American Airlines, United, and then Delta. Okay, and we also declared one more query parameter, that is a destination. Okay, you guys try that how to use this destination. I'm not going to explain you all the query parameters here. It's very simple. Just instead of, there are different kind of destinations are there. I in raml just now I declared only two destinations. You just go and see that response, what are the destinations are there. So if you see that SFO, LAX, and then PDF, CLE, okay, so just capture these destinations and edit your raml based on that. Okay, so this is your raml right now. Just put comma, and what are that, PDF, right? Sorry, PDF, comma, and then CLE, PDX also there. Any other destination? SFO, CLE, LAX. I think that's it. Yes. So these are the different destinations. You just save it. Let me terminate this instance and come to my Mule design mode. Okay. Now where we declared the variable, you just go there and declare your variable. So one more variable you are declaring here. So this variable is what is this? A destination. How to capture that? Yesterday we could not able to see that properly, right? It didn't show it. Now we'll try that whether it still behaving that. Yeah. Yesterday when we put the dot, it did not show that all the properties. Sometimes it behaves your Anypoint Studio. So just close everything and try to restart your Anypoint Studio. Then you must be able to see that. Okay. Since we're using trial versions, it behaves like that only sometimes. Okay. Don't worry about that. And then inbound property. So what is the inbound property which we are passing? Is it it's a query parameter, right? And then if you put dot, you could able to see that what are the query parameters available. So from where it is auto loading. So these are loading from the raml, which you already declared. So you had declared two query parameters. That's why you could able to see that two query parameters, right? So since we already declared airlines, now we declare the destination. Okay. So now this is the MEL expression, as I said, Mule expression language, the way which we are declaring. So this step, what we are trying to do, we are taking value from the query query parameter and loading that into one variable inside your flow. Okay, so that variable name we call it as a destination. It's not required to give the same name destination. You can give it some other name also. There is no issue. Okay, let's say if I give some code here, you can give it, no issue. Okay, just for understanding, I'm keeping like that. So this is a destination code, right? So I'm giving that simply code. So where we can use this destination basically. So if you see that one of the web service, sorry, database, so there you can pass it where the destination is equal to, you can write the condition where, so either it's destination or some other field. I think the field name is different here. It is a to airport or something. Yeah, we can see that what is that response which are getting, right? Yeah, it is to airport. So this is the one we're getting from here. These are the database field names, so you can use it as it is. Where to airport is equal to hash hash, where we have that inside the flow variables, flow vars dot, what is that variable? It is a code, right? Yeah, like that you need to represent. Okay, now what will happen, only the code which you are passing, the destination code SFO or LAX, so that particular destination details only you could able to retrieve from the database, American Airlines. Okay, like that here also you can do it by passing some path here, destination. Okay, first let's see that whether we are getting properly or not. So now we'll see that what is the response which you had. So this is the American airline, so we have SFO destination, and what are other destinations, CLE something also there. So now we are going to pass only one SFO, American, and we are going to pass a destination as, one second, let me reload this and see. Okay, first I need to run the application, right? So it is deployed. Now you can go to the browser and refresh your path. Okay. Now you select the airline. There's American and select only SFO. Okay. Just click on get. Now you go back here and go to Mule debugger mode. Just click on next message process. If you see that variable, there is no variable get created so far, but just keep observe that whether these variables creating and the way how it is creating. Okay, click next, then one variable got created, and next one more variable. There are two variables and which are loading the values from the query parameters. Okay, so this is American flights. Okay, now we get the response back. Right, now you go to the browser and check only SF4 records we got, or do we got any other records. So if you see destination, only SF4 related, right? So this is the way you can use the query parameters and you can pass it. So for other web service and RESTful service also you can pass the destination parameter, right? But later when you are not passing that destination, you could able to handle such kind of empty payloads or errors, okay, in your flow. Now let's see how it will be if we use the Delta web service consumer. So there is already there, it's like a list all flights and find flights, right? So you just select a find flight. But I think you need to do the transform, you need to use some transform component to do that. Previous we are able to load all the list of flights. It doesn't expect any other variable from this, right? But now what is happening, it is expecting some destination field from the input message, right? If you see that, if you select list all fields and just save it and double click on this web service consumer, if you see that there is no field it is expecting, right? So you no need to do any transformation. Whatever the message it is coming, you just need to pass it. So it is like a just get method. But now since we want to read only particular destination flights information, then you need to use the find flights. Now the web service WSDL is expecting some input from you. So that input is what is the destination, right? You need to pass that destination, then only that web service can give the response back to you. So if you see that the variable it is destination and it is got auto populated. So previous when you keep the transformer after the web service consumer, the source payload will get load for you, right? And if you keep the transformer before the web service consumer, the destination, so it will read based on this one. Okay, destination for the transformation and it will be a web service consumer request. Now what you need to do, you need to pass that flow variable here. Just double click on this, and here you just write the language, as I said, flow vars dot, what is our variable name? It is code, right? So you just pass that one. Okay, so flow vars dot code, just save it. Okay, so in which flow we did change? It is delta flow, right? So now you go to delta, and you can change the destination. You can pass any of this one. So delta, let's try with LAX. I don't know whether it is having some records or not, but let's see that. So flow variables get created, and now it's going to choice router. In this choice router, it is executing the delta flow, and then it came to the transform component, and then web service consumer. Okay, I think we got some response back, but what is this? So might be the response we haven't changed, right? So now we need to change. So when you change the operation, the request and response both will get changed. So you need to change the transform component of the response as well, I think. So let's see that. So if it's something different or not. Yeah. So it is a find flights. If you see that, it is auto populated when you change this operation. So the source has got changed, right? What is this? Find flight response. But what we are loading, list all flights response. So you need to change this one, right? You can remove the code, no issue here, because we have auto populate, right? So how to drag the fields here? Root to root, right? When you are dragging root to root, just hold the shift key and drag root to root directly. So it will do that matching records. It will auto map it. Okay, and remaining you need to map it manually. Code should go to flight code. Empty seats should be available seats, and then origin should go to the origination. That's it. Now save it and test it one more time. Now it's got deployed. Now you go back to your browser and pass some input and test it. Delta LAX we are trying, right? Just click on get and come back here and go to Mule debugger view. Then click on the next message browser and next message browser. Now you can see that there are two variables got created. Now click next. Now it is going to invoke the delta flights flow, since the variable uh, value query parameter which we pass delta, and it is matched with that. So now we are in delta flights flow. Now transform got executed successfully. Okay, now you can see the response only the destination related to the LAX. Okay, if you want to, you can change it to SFO or PDF. You can check the records. Okay, let's resume it since we already seen that how it will be in debug mode. Let's resume this. I think we got something here. I think might be there is no record, so we need to handle such kind of. So if you see that null exception, right? So we need to handle these kind of actions. We will see that after this. In exception handling, we will see that how to handle. Okay, now let's change it to some other destination. SF4 will see that. So I just clicked on the resume button, then I can immediately see the response back. Now this time it should be destination only SF4 related records. Okay, now one more flow we have, right? So how to pass the query parameter for a RESTful web service. So now we have seen that how to pass the query parameters to the web service and um, database component. Now we are going to see that how to pass to the RESTful web service. So when it comes to the RESTful web services, if you see that what is the path, just click on the edit button, you can see the path. So this is the base path. So after the base path, you need to pass the query parameter in the URL. So just like we already tested endpoints, right? So this here it should be curly braces. Okay, and what is the value? It is a code. Okay, no, I think this is a destination. Okay, now you need, actually when you give like this it should auto populate, but sometimes it, whenever you give here slash with curly braces, there should be a parameter should show here. Are we in still debugger mode? Let me stop this, come to the mule design mode. Destination, right? Still it's not coming. Okay, let's click on the add parameter. It is not loading. So we need to pass this as a URI parameter. We are getting as a query parameter, but when you are invoking the REST service, you are going to pass it as a URI parameter. So the what we are trying basically should be the URL should be if you take this, what is that? Yeah. So basically the endpoint will be HTTP and the host, okay, and slash this base path okay, and slash sfo. This is the way we are trying to pass. And what is this? HTTP, right? Let's see. HTTP. And this is a REST service. You can browse it from here also. Yeah. So now you can see that so we are trying to hit this endpoint like this. So after the flights we are passing the uh, PDX. Okay. We are trying to pass the destination. So to do that, what you have to do? You need to hit the same way. So slash, we are keeping that query parameter, I mean that URI parameter in the curly braces, and that is called the destination. We are saying that. So where we can load this destination field? Okay, this can be taken from the flow variable, right? So we are saying that this is a query parameter and the value should be taken from the our input. So as dot code. Okay, now you should be able to pass this value. Just save it, run your application in debugger mode. Okay, now it is deploying to your Mule USB. Okay, so this is the Anypoint Studio, and it comes with embedded Mule USB. That's what you could able to run your application and deploy on that. Okay, there is a Mule USB embedded with this Anypoint Studio. Okay, whenever you are downloading, and you can see that domain is a default. On the default domain, it will deploy all the applications. Okay, now let's try one more time. Not this one. So this time, what is the airline? It should be United, right? We are trying with United. Let's keep it destination SFO. Click on get. Okay. Now click on the next message processor. You'll be able to see that there are variables will get create, and then it is going to the United flights flow. Okay. Now you are in the United flights flow, and you are passing the URI parameter. Something wrong here. Error send it HTTP request. Flight slash destination, so it's not loading properly. It's still, if you see that the path, you can see that illegal argument, so it is not passing the value which we are sending destination, right? If you see here, so what it is going, it's going as it is string only, it's not going SFO now. I think there is something wrong here. Let's look once. So we have given destination, and it is a get method. Oh, sorry, we are passing it as query parameter, but it is not the query parameter, right? On the URL we are setting, so it should be URI param, right? Inside the URI param, you are loading the query parameter value. Okay, when you are sending from the postman, that is a query parameter. But that query parameter, when you are hitting the United REST service, we are mapping it to the URI parameter because it is expecting as a URI parameter. Okay, so I already show you, right, like this. So you, on the URL you are setting. So this is the endpoint which we are trying to hit. After that we are trying to pass the value. So what we call this one, if you are passing this some value after the URL, it is a URI parameter. Okay, if you are passing the values like this, the browser, if you see that separately query parameters, it will be like query parameters. But now we are trying to pass it as a, so URI parameters, it will be like this. So with the question mark, it will come question mark destination equal to SF or something, right? But endpoint is expecting flights slash SFO, so that is URI parameter. Okay, did you get the difference between query parameters and URI parameters? So when you are declaring like a question mark and destination SFO like this is a query parameters which you can use the to query something and to filter it on. But if it is on expecting as a URI parameter, you are saying that slash employee ID or something, flight code ID, destination, whatever it is. Okay, now you save your application. Okay. Okay, now you go back to your browser and pass one more time United and SFO values as query parameters. Then come to your Mule debugger view. Click on next browser. Go to next browser and United Airlines flight flow. Now there is no error because it is expecting that as a URI parameter. Okay. Now just click on next. That's it. Go back to your browser. You could able to see that United Airlines with destination SFO only. Got it? Now if you set it I think empty with SFO destination, so our expectation is what it is. We need to go back to all the flows, right, and get the only destination as SFO. Correct? Now click on, go to the message browser and click. Okay. Now if you go back to your browser, you can only see now you can see the all three different airlines response, but the destination is SFO only. You cannot see any other destination other than the SFO. Only SFO destination we can see that. Okay. So we tried all the ways using the query parameters and get the response back, right? With each and every single flow and then combined flow, we got the response back properly. And if you want to see that, you can change it one more. and you can test it. But the thing is, when the payload is coming in null, you need to handle that error, right? Let's say if it is a PDF, some of the records it is returning null. So if the payload is null, you need to handle that such kind of errors, right? Just run and see that where that null records we are getting. So United Flow we are hitting with the destination PDF, right? I think we got the null only. Okay, here you need to handle. Okay, there are, so where it will get failed. So if you see that, how many records are there? 0 records are there. So that means it is a null payload. So if the payload is null, you don't want to execute this transform component. What we want to do, we want to filter that so that I can sorry, so that I can eliminate the records which are coming from the American Airlines. Then I can match the other two and give the response back. Correct? So if you click next, we have seen that one record from some other, and here also 0. Yeah, I think this is also returning the 0 records. That's what we are getting, null, right? So exception we are getting. So I don't want to get this kind of exception. Even if PDF not exist in one of the flow, I want to combine other responses and give the I am expecting response from the other airlines. One second, guys. Okay. So how can I handle that? Avoiding, I mean, avoid that null exceptions. So you can use the filter. Okay, just type filter. Oh, mhm. So we'll declare here in the global elements. If you go to the global elements and create, you can see that filter, right? So what type of filter you are, why we are declaring global? First of all, what is the use of declaring inside the global? I can use the component from the palette and I can drag and drop it here, right? So because the filter condition which I am keeping in American flow, I want to reutilize that in other flows also as well. The same filter condition I'm going to apply, because wherever the payload is null, the filter should trigger, right? So for that I am declaring that filter inside the global. So that, what type of filter condition it should be? It should be a payload filter, right? Just click on the payload filter. Okay, now you can see that what is the expected type it is. So what we can set here? Okay, so when the payload is hash payload dot available is not equal to 0. 1 second. Basically it should be a payload. We are checking that whether it is null or not, right? And United flow, it gives some, I mean, one of the flow we are getting XML response, and one flow we are getting null, it might be sometimes 0, right? So we need to handle different places. Let me go back here and see what all the filter conditions are there. Filter, expression. So there are different kind of filters are there: custom filter, exception filter, and expression filters are there, right? So which filter we need to use? How we know that? So you can use I think what is the expression filter evaluates the range of expression, and this is the filter reference. If you already have a logic, then you can defer this filter reference, and this is the payload filter. The payload filter matches the type of the payload. Let's see once this drag and drop it here, and if you see that expected type, so what we can set, we need to see that what is the error it is coming, right? So we know that in American flow we are getting error, so we'll keep it here, and we'll say that here expected type hash payload dot, okay, this is not the one. What is there? Use expression, right? Okay, so I want to evaluate some of the expression here, not there's some PAYLOAD, right? Yeah, payload dot available. I think it is auto populating, it looks right. Yeah, now it is only these conditions are there. Available. Okay, my condition should be not equal to 0. Let's try once. Okay, go to your browser. Now you try, what is the flow? It is American flow, right? Only try with the American flow so that we can easily identify that. I just something, some expression, but we'll see that what type of format it is coming, then we can set the proper expression on that. Yeah, actually it is coming size 0, so, and it is a linked list, so we need to check that it is not equal to array, then we can skip it, right? So now you get some error, but we'll change this. So we'll change this expression based on the response we got. So we are getting size equal to 0, so now you need to evaluate like that. Your expression should be based on the response which you are getting from the American database. So in this case, how it is returning, you are getting payload if it is not equal to array list, right? So you can say like this. Now you save it. So basically filters where you need to if something some of the expression is not met, if your payload is null, or if you're getting some empty records, so your other message process will get failed, right? So you don't want to say execute other message process. So if you are getting some empty records, you just want to um, skip out from that level. You don't want to execute the other message process. So at the time you can use the filters to filter the message. Or again try it one more time, click on the get. See that it skipped from here, right? So there is no error. If you see that there is no error this time, because it stopped from it directly terminated from here. It didn't execute the other message process because it didn't met this condition. So payload is empty list. When the payload is empty list, why do you want to execute this transform component and other component? You don't require it, right? Then you can just skip from there, and you will not see any error, right? So where is our browser? Yeah, in the browser also you can see a 200 response, and there is no body from here, correct? So now you are able to execute this flow successfully without any error when you are using this expression. So now what we can give this expression name, filter no results. Okay, when there is no results, I would like to skip it from here. And is there any other place? I think United also giving some empty records. Only web service consumer having one or two records related to the PDF. So we need to handle that here also. One second. It's not loading. Just go. Where is your filter here? And drag and drop the filter here after the United. Okay. Now this time I think you should give that expression when payload not available condition. Okay, because this will not give this is a RESTful service, and it will not give as a array list. Okay, when it comes to the database it gives a array list, but this is not the array list. The response you can see here, right? So it is JSON format. So to handle this you need to give like this, payload dot available is not equal to 0. Okay, let's save it. Let's give the same name here also. uh, okay, now it's execute, and now you go back to your browser. Sorry, browser. Now this time it is United, right? United, and click on get. It is saying some buffered input stream, but Let's see, if it is having, it will go, but if it is not there, it will throw some error, right? I think it has some record, 1 or 2 records it might be having. Yeah, since it has some record, it could able to write. If there is no record, then it will, this expression will execute, and the cursor will come out directly. It will not execute the other message process. Okay, so now you able to handle this. Now you try getting all PDF. Which flow it is? It is delta flow, right? I think delta flow returning byte empty byte array something. Byte array or empty? Oh, sorry. Let's see if we can get the details from console. So where is this map? It is find flights response. So in which flow we have? It is in delta flow. I think United delta. Okay. So find flights also there is no record, I think. Now we need to handle this one also, right? Now let's see. So basically you need to understand that what format it is returning. It's XML format, right? When payload is equal to payload not empty, then you can skip that one. Expression filter. Payload not equal to empty. I think we can use this also. So I'm trying to use a different kind of expressions so that so let's see whether this expression will validate or not. Okay. Basically we are getting some empty response from the web service consumer. So when we get the empty response, we need to handle that one. Okay, we don't want to execute the other message process, because when we get the empty response, the transform component will get failed. So I don't want to fail the flow. Okay, I want to execute the successful path. Let's go back here and try it one more time. So it's basically delta flow, right? Just check it the delta only and fix that. Next, 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 next. What it is? But still we are getting something. Okay, string name or name, array name. One second. Required object name or array name. Did we change anything in transformation? I think we did not change, right? Okay. Okay, might be it is giving some other field name run something wrong when it is come to the PDF. So let's go with SFO. Let's see whether this going smooth flow or not. There is a response for the SFO and it is executing properly, and the size also we have there. When it is come to the PDF, it is getting something now. Okay, anyhow, we were able to handle the inside the United flow and Delta flow, right? So this is the one today class, we could able to hand how to use the filter when empty payloads are coming, and then what else we have seen today? Is there any other? We were able to debug by using the choice based routing. We have done that, right? And in our next class, what we are going to learn, we are going to handle these kind of exceptions when it comes some errors. So how to handle so those kind of errors or exceptions, how to capture that, and then once we complete that exception handling, then we'll go to the deployment. So how to do the deployment from Anypoint Studio to the Cloud Hub environment. We already have our Anypoint platform account, right? So we are going to see that how to deploy application on the Cloud Hub environment, and also we will be seeing that um, how to set the values reading from the properties file, because when it comes to the deployments, we need to move the files from one server to another server. You are going to deploy the application from one server to another server, development, production, and test environments, right? So when you are moving from one environment to another environment, obviously the um, endpoint URLs or connection details for the database, it will be different. So what you need to do, you need to set those values inside the some properties file, right? And you need to read those values from the properties file. So that we will see that in our next session. Okay. So is there any doubt so far? Okay.